So we are joined by the man of the moment, Mr. Aleksandar Rakic. Thank you for joining us, mate. It's a pleasure to have you on, and what a weekend you've had. Has it set in exactly what happened this weekend?
Yes, I was preparing myself for this kind of victory many weeks before, and everything went perfect the last 2 months, and yeah, that makes me really happy what happened on Saturday.
You kind of predicted it as well, because in one of the interviews I saw with you on the media day, you said everybody will be talking about me, everyone will know my name Sunday morning, and there's very few video KO knockouts that have gone as viral as yours, so you predicted that as well, mate. A bit of Mystic Mac going on with you as well.
Yeah, I mean, everybody likes to talk, and everybody likes to push yourself, yourself, you know. I don't want to sound like I predict everything, because nobody knows what's gonna happen. But I was confident in everything what I'm doing, you know. And the camp, like I said, my camp was perfect, and the last 2 weeks before the fight was like unbelievable. Everything I touch, I break. It was like that, you know. Everything I touch in the training, everything I take the bottle, I break the bottle. Everything. It was really like that. And in the fight week, I told my coaches, man, everything I touch, I break. And that's happened on Saturday. I touched Jimmy and I broke him.
It was an absolutely stunning KO as well. Just got to ask, is your shin okay? Because that was unbelievable. The sound of that connecting was unreal.
Yeah, my shin is perfect. I'm doing this left high kick since I'm a kid. I start with kickboxing when I was 13, and I throw this left high kick so many times in my life. And I KO'd people with that left high kick so many times, so I'm getting used to.
Where do you see like a knockout like this against Jimmy Manuwa puts you within the division?
I don't know. I don't know. I just checked in the morning the rankings, but they didn't update it so far. But I expect I'm gonna take his place in the rankings, and just a couple of more guys in front of me, and I'm gonna focus on them. Me and my team study all of them, and yeah, I'm gonna focus on them and climbing the ladder up to the top.
If I'm right in saying, I think Jimmy Manuwa was ranked number 11.
That's right, yeah.
So when after him, let's say if you do take his place, it puts you in the top 10 roughly. So obviously when you look at the top 10, is there anything else out there, like, you know, that's a fight that you like? Obviously you had a few other light heavyweights on the title. You had Volkan and Latifi that actually didn't fight in the end.
Yeah.
These guys, obviously you would have liked to have seen that fight happen. You have Jan Blachowicz fighting Luke Rockhold. Luke Rockhold's moved up into that division now, so the division is getting a bit more busier again now. Now the likes of
You've got Johnny Walker in there.
Yeah,
all
Johnny
that
Walker.
Sort of
He's
stuff,
been looking really good. So is there out of all those sort of guys like Reyes and stuff, is there anyone in that division that you just look at straight away? Because obviously, as fighters, you always watch your weight class and you go, I like that fight. I like this fight. There's certain fighters that you think, oh, that's maybe not my cup of tea. He's a good fighter, but I don't really want to fight that guy. Not good for my style. Is there certain fighters out there you look at and think that suits my style?
I think I don't have a problem to fight any of those guys, because like everybody has different styles. Like Volkan is more the striker, Latifi is the wrestler. And
Corey Anderson's a wrestler.
I had Jan Blachowicz is a strong striker with a good grappling. I mean, the UFC, what the UFC does with me in my first 3 fights, they gave me in every fight. The first fight I got a grappler. Second I got a boxer, and then third I got a wrestler. So the UFC was testing me in every area of the fighting, you know. And I'm ready for all of them. I am an all-rounder. I've been putting so many hours on the mat doing wrestling and grappling, and my base are kickboxing, so I'm all rounder, and I don't care to fight anybody from the guys, because I know I'm ready, and I know I can beat them all with their own weapons. So if the UFC decide to give me, I don't know, for example, Volkan or Latifi or Reyes, I'm gonna take that fight. I'm gonna take the fight because they can push me to the rankings, even to be better ranked and to get the chance of the title.
These conversations that we're having, do you almost have to pinch yourself a little bit when you are now talking about yourself potentially fighting these top 10, these top 5, even John Jones, the champion, where people are putting you in that conversation? When you look back to your MMA debut, the first fight, the only fight you've lost, and you jump back to that memory, could you ever picture where you've got yourself now? I mean, what was that like, losing that fight, and what's driven you on this 12-fight win streak since that moment?
Yeah, this first fight I lost. This was a nightmare. I was like, I basically jumped from the kickboxing to the MMA. I was training like I was doing the same mistake what 80% of the young people does. Okay, they see UFC and they watch the fight, and they say, oh, I want to train MMA, and they go directly to the MMA class. There is no wrestling, no grappling, no striking, everything. They say just, I want to train MMA, and that's basically I did. I was like a kickboxer, going to the gym and straight to the MMA class, and I was training like 6 months, and we had a crazy coach there, and he pushed me like into the fire. He said like, hey, I have a fight for you in Germany. You want to fight? And I say, yes, why not? I'm gonna fight because I getting used to in kickboxing you fight every month, So I have a lot of kickboxing fights, and I said to him, yes, let's fight. And the fight day was coming. I was training just 6 months, and I knew maybe just the basic things on the ground. I don't even wrestle, And then the fight day came, and my opponent gets canceled, and I got the chance to fight in the main event for the title.
Wow.
5 rounds, 5 minutes, and this was my first fight. This story is crazy, and
wow.
And the best thing was the promoter was the coaches of my opponent.
Oh, mate, come on.
Yeah, and I cut that guy like I made him like 2-3 cuts, and it was blood everywhere. So the doctor should stop the fight, but he didn't. And my stupid coach told me like in the first round, the last minute, go for a takedown, score the round. But I even scored it. And I went for a double leg, but with my neck like, hey, here is my neck, and he took my neck and submit me with the guillotine, and this was horrible. I almost won the fight, my first fight, and then I lost it, and it was like 6 months. I was thinking on that, and I told myself, never again, never ever again. I've been. Then after that, I put hours and hours to train grappling, jiu-jitsu, and wrestling before I took the next fight. And then I had like 5-6 fights and got my first serious knee injury. I tore my ACL and my meniscus on the grappling in the training. So that put me away like 6 months, and I recovered from them and started already training hard and fought a couple of more times, and then I tore my ACL again.
Wow.
For the second time on the same knee. And this was like the surgery was really, really complicated and takes like 4 hours. So I was 18 months out of the fighting, just rehab and physio and that. Yeah. And after that period of recovering, I was like always in the fighting. Always, I was like learning, studying about everything, like fighting, technique, nutrition. I wrote a lot of books, and I was like keeping all the time learning. And then after my comeback fight, I fought a dangerous Brazilian guy here in Vienna, in my hometown. I beat him in the first round, and after that win, my manager came 7 days later and put me the UFC contract on table. I was not believing that, and in the first thing I was asking him, man, do you think I'm ready for those guys? And he said, yeah, I think so. You're the future. And I was not believing that, because I was thinking, oh, I'm not ready for those. They are machines. And then I have my coaches, and they believe in me, and we are here now. 4 fights in the UFC, 4 wins, and the last win was the biggest win of my career. And I know now I'm ready for those guys, and I belong there in the rankings.